Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome CEO, Cambridge Leadership Associates, and author of Adaptive Leadership, Alexander Grashow.
Thank you. Welcome to our meeting on the Haiti Action Network. This is going to be a wonderful session. What we'll start with is some presenters. After those presenters come up, what we'll do is we'll have a fireside chat talking about where we are with the Haiti Action Network. After that, we'll hear from 3 commitment makers on the work they're doing in Haiti. And then the most important piece of this, in some ways, is how do we take those lessons learned for how we're going to move forward? What are we going to keep doing? What are we going to stop doing? What are the choices we have in front of us? And so our hope for this time is to build on those presentations to hear about where we're going and what we want to do from here. An invitation during that process is to speak in sentences, not paragraphs, to share the best of your thinking. There's a wonderful opportunity to hear and be seduced to tell a bunch of hero stories about what's worked, and we know a lot has worked. What we want to know is how do we build on that to move forward? So where do we go from here? And with your permission, I will be a little pushy to make sure we're sharing on that topic. Without much further ado, because I want to get to that dialogue, Denis O'Brien, I'd love to have you kick us off.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you for agreeing to moderate this afternoon's session. Thank you to all of you for coming to our 22nd meeting of the Clinton Global Initiative Haiti Action Network. Now, a big chunk of you, I see so many familiar faces in the room, have been at all the meetings so far. So to you, I want to thank you especially. I'd also like to thank the rapporteurs, because the way we've divided up the network is to, in other words, to really complete the work. We brought focus into groups of people, for example, in enterprise, in wash and shelter, in energy, health, education, and agriculture. And I'd like to thank the rapporteurs who've been there all along for all their work, because they are hounding people every month, getting more information, checking up on them, making sure they're actually meeting all their promises. I'd like to thank Michael Carey, Dominic McSorley from Concern, Dan Schnitzer, Brian Hoyer, and Rachel Pierre, and Amber Lynn Munger Pierre as well. She has been involved in the agriculture, such an important part of the work of this network. I like to think of ourselves as a bit of a cult. Maybe that's not a very good term as such, but you know, once you go to Haiti, you become so enthusiastic about Haiti, you keep coming back. And you know, I can see so many people who initially went to Haiti, they tread very softly, and now have become really, really committed people to various projects and organisation and working with Haitians, which for this network is the most important thing we do, is that, you know, it's not a bunch of people from outside Haiti who are all piling in to help. It's really working and building capacity and working through the government agencies, the government departments, which is going to really make the change for Haiti in the next number of years. May I also welcome and thank Prime Minister Lamothe for joining us this afternoon. May I also thank Cheryl Mills, who is the Counselor and Chief of Staff to the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, who has done an incredible project against all the odds in a place called Caracol, where she's working with CIA, which is a Korean company, to create 20,000 jobs. I understand that she's done this completely outside of her responsibilities with the Secretary of State, and she has moonlighted up and down to Haiti. So I thank you, Cheryl, for being here and for all your terrific work. If there was one thing in the last year that has made such a profound difference, is that particular project, because the future for Haiti, whether we like it or not, is not NGOs changing the country, it's business people, new enterprises and new employment that is going to make that difference. So thank you, Cheryl. May I also thank Stephanie Strom, who has written a whole series of articles about Haiti in the New York Times and has brought a huge amount of research. It's great to see fantastic journalism and great research on the country and great insights. So thank you for being with us, Stephanie. In all, about $352 million has been raised in the 8 years of President Clinton's initiative here at the CGI. And about 68% of that money has been collected. So this is kind of new kind of development money as such, where people are making promises, but they're also keeping the promises. And that's why the network and these 222 meetings, 22 and our next meetings in November, which will be our 23rd meeting, are so important, because we're pushing everybody ahead. We're putting little fires under people, we're niggling people and moving everybody. It's like trying to herd maybe 150 Irish sheep across a mountain. It sometimes feels like on certain days. So thank you very much. To just finish the projects that we have today, we need $112 million. So we're 68% funded, and we're shy about 32%. So you will be hearing from 3 presenters today in very illuminating terms of what their projects are. So we hope that maybe you'll consider them. We have a very interesting booklet which just shows you the work. It's all on all your seats. It shows at the front some of the people that we're trying to finance, and then it gives some of the stories and the success stories, but also some of the learnings as well. I'd like to thank the people who've made new commitments. So, you know, even after 8 years and even after 3 years since the earthquake, we have new people coming on board. The Happy Heart Fund, Mass Design Lab, Accenture, Vital Voices, and of course Heineken. Heineken are new to the market because, you know, they're a big enterprise. They bought a beer company there, but they're now trying to get 18,000 farmers mobilized to supply them with all the ingredients to make beer. May I thank Sean Penn, because, you know, I think if you were to pick out an NGO anywhere in the world today that has been created in the last 3 or 4 years, you'd have to say Sean's organization, JPHRO, is probably an incredible example of a go-to work and the way he has organised and mobilised so many different people. So Sean, thank you very much for being with us. May I thank Maria Bello and Daniel Sandloth, who we've trying to bring a greater focus in the network towards women and girls and the work of women, and how do you mobilise women in Haiti to take a greater part in government, but in local government as well, and also in business. And Maria and Daniel and all her friends and team are doing such terrific work. May I thank Donna Karan for the work that she's done with artisans, because these are small producers of incredibly beautiful artistic things and produce that are produced in Haiti. And I'd like to thank Donna for being with us all the way through this, and congratulate her on the work that she's doing. And then may I thank Kimberly Green as well for the work that she does on the whole cultural side of Haiti as well. So our first speaker is the Prime Minister of Haiti, Mr. Laurent Lamothe. The Prime Minister brings a huge amount of administrative and commercial experience, because he ran a multinational business before he gave all that up to return to Haiti, firstly as Chief of Staff and Advisor to President Martelly, and since May, Prime Minister of the country. Please give a warm welcome to Prime Minister Lamothe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Denis, and thank you for the great things you're doing in Haiti. I'd like to thank CGI for hosting today's event and providing me with the unique opportunity to offer these introductory remarks. I'm grateful to President Bill Clinton for his unconditional and unwavering support to the Haitian cause. He is a genuine friend of the Haitian people. Since 2009, CGI's Action Network sessions, spearheaded by Mr. Denis O'Brien, have been tremendously helpful in promoting tangible but yet innovative solutions to Haiti's social and economic related challenges. Dear friends of Haiti, I am proud to inform you that Haiti is on the right track today, with a democratically elected president Michel Joseph Martelly, driven to move the country forward and determined and committed to getting the development right this time. As you know, I was ratified as Prime Minister of Haiti by the Parliament only 4 months ago. Therefore, I've been in command for 18 weeks, more precisely 140 days. Yet, we have taken numerous actions and innovative steps to build Haiti's economy, strengthen its democracy, build up its fragile institutions, attract foreign direct investment, and last but not least, fight the country's corruption and extreme poverty. We have done so by learning from past mistakes of the past 30 years in order to build a brighter and better future for our citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, Haiti is now at a crossroad where it can galvanize the necessary energies both in Haiti and abroad to optimize its resources and endowments and generate long-term sustainable economic growth. We have a dynamic culture, and we have over 1,600 kilometers of beautiful seashore, among the very best in the Caribbean. We have the nicest islands to be visited, and for those of you who have not visited Île Vache, I highly recommend it. We have begun to capitalize on our beautiful natural resources to invigorate the tourism sector, which will generate foreign exchange and revenues for the government and create jobs for our fellow Haitians. We have a 10 million people population and immense business opportunities in a multitude of sectors that need to be promoted and actively promoted. We have to promote agriculture, we have to promote tourism, we have to promote communication, mining, real estate, construction, infrastructure development, manufacturing, services, and banking, as well as finance. Steps by steps, projects by projects, with determination and the genuine will to get it right this time, the government is making significant progress in that process. 2 days ago, the President Martelly and I, we spent the day touring the capital, inspecting some of the major public works as the reconstruction of the country has finally begun. It was important for us to be on the field where the action is taking place in order to galvanize the energies, rally the community behind us in this very daunting reconstruction challenge. Dear friends of Haiti, we are indeed on the right path. Roads are being fixed or built. 2 international airports are being repaired. And we hope to finalize the Cap Haitian Airport on October 15th to hopefully receive the Secretary of State by October 22nd. We are building new bridges, and with the help of our international partners, a new industrial park. Schools, we want to build 140 schools. Hospitals, care centers, 140 sports centers. And I say 140 because we have 140 communes. And those communes, they don't have any parks, sports centers at all. So we want to build one in each commune of the country. I have always assumed my strong interest for the economic sphere and the reforms necessary for Haiti to be open for business. The long-term objective, of course, is to make Haiti an emerging country in 3 decades, by 2030. My government has a clear action plan for the next 4 years, which includes the following. 1, massive reconstruction of public buildings destroyed during the earthquake. As you might know, we lost 42 public buildings during the earthquake, which represents almost 100% of the government capacity. We are rebuilding right now 5 of those 42 with the financial resources that we have. 2, construction of major infrastructure, which includes roads, bridges, airports, schools, and hospitals. We are also focusing on the implementation of major housing programs. In the years to come, Haiti will be one huge construction site, and we've started last week, with thousands of Haitians busy rebuilding the earthquake-destroyed country. 3, Focus on energy. We've declared an energy emergency in the country. The president has signed an executive order, meaning that all efforts will be put into obtaining 500 megawatts of electricity and putting light in the homes of the 10 million Haitians. Expand the Caracol Park, located in the north, develop Haiti's tourism sector, and of course, adopt policies that will allow for access to financing for the country's small and mid-sized businesses. We are working with the financial sector to find ways and means to access and to ease the access to credit. The government is taking the right steps to improve the business environment and to secure foreign direct investment. This morning, the Miami Herald headline is quite telling, and I quote, "Haiti making progress on investor-friendly environment." Indeed, we are working with the Haitian lawmakers and the private sector to pass several laws to make Haiti a more business-friendly country. Our work has started to pay off. The headlines for Haiti are becoming more and more encouraging and uplifting. A wave of new hotels is currently being built in the capital. Slowly but surely, we are rising from the ashes of the earthquake. Our investment promotion agency is now functional and a dynamic entity, which is responding daily to the demands of hundreds of foreign investors. In the education sphere, which is the most important set of priorities for the president and for my government, we are achieving goals that were never achieved before and trying to do things that were never achievable before. Today, I'm happy to report that on top of the 1 million children that we were able to put in school for free, we will add another 250,000 children in the school program this year, which will bring up the number to 1,250,000 children, or 50% of the primary school children going to school today. This is a major accomplishment, taking into effect that before President Martelly, only 2,000 children were getting tuition-free schooling. We've also, to prevent the children from walking between 5 to 7 kilometers to school and back from school, we've also waived the fees on public transportation. All children now can go to school on a public bus for free. We are committed to building the country's social safety net to tackle the problem of extreme poverty. The main priority of my government, of course, is to fight extreme poverty. Over 54% of our population is living on less than $1 a day. This is totally unacceptable. And we have put together a social assistance program which has 5 different sub-programs to tackle the extreme poverty. And the government has put in significant resources from the meager resources that we have. We've allocated close to $100 million into anti-poverty and fight against extreme poverty programs. In the institutional sphere, we've succeeded in launching institutions to make the rule of law a prominent function of the government. We're fighting corruption with vigor and smuggling on the Haiti-Dominican Republic border. We were able to recover $27 million of lost revenues in the month of July, and the month of August, we recovered an extra $22 million. So we are losing on the Haiti-Dominican border over $500 million a year based on no declaration and people not wanting to pay custom duties. We're also trying to increase the percentage of Haitians that pay taxes. Today, only 3% of the population actually pays its taxes. Therefore, 97% don't. In a country that needs resources to build roads, schools, and bridges, we want everybody, or a large portion, to pay taxes. I want to make a special recognition to the importance of empowering our Haitian women. Everyone in this room knows the statistic. When we empower women economically, it means a better economy for the whole country. That's why we have committed $10 million into a women's economic and social empowerment fund. We invite the private sector of Haiti to match this fund so we can take more women into it. 40% of my cabinet is women. 50% of my prime minister's personal cabinet is also made of women. So I'm surrounded by as you can see, we have an ambitious agenda, but our intent is to get the development of our country right. And we are working tirelessly to that end. When thinking about Haiti, a lesson for the future is that nations don't die because they are not alone. Nations don't die when they can count on the kind of chain of solidarity that you have shown, all of you here present, and continue to show on a daily and hourly basis. And we are so very grateful for the support and the help that we are getting from all of you present here tonight. Now, I want to thank a very special person, somebody that has committed a large part of her time, energy, career into making Haiti the kind of place that everybody here can be proud of and for every Haitian to be proud of. Somebody that has defended democracy, defended fair and free elections in the country, and defended also for the vote of the people, the voice of the people to be heard. Somebody that I work very closely with, and that person is Ms. Cheryl Mills. Thank you very much.
I was thinking, I haven't met that person. How are you all? Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much for honoring us with your presence here today and certainly for all of the leadership you are providing to your country. It is really wonderful to be here. It is always my favorite place to be, in a place where there are so many people committed, and particularly when they're committed to Haiti. I don't know that there's a much better place to be. Now, I do always find it a little challenging to speak after the Prime Minister because he's a relatively dynamic guy, but I'm going to take a stab at it anyway. I do want to thank CGI for hosting this event tonight, and I also want to thank Denis O'Brien, who has continued to cultivate the Haiti Action Network and truly has been an exemplar to those who are committed to Haiti of what one person can actually do to make such a big difference. I think that's right. I also want to thank President Clinton, who has for many, many years been a role model for me of what it means to be committed. And he has also been a relentless partner in really trying to build the kind of future for Haiti that he imagines they might want for themselves and that he knows from their own words and their own actions that they see for themselves. So I'm enormously grateful. I'm also particularly amazed at the power of Haiti. I have the pleasure and the opportunity in my current job at the State Department to work with lots of countries. What is so amazing about the power of Haiti is what you see actually here today. They have convening power, and they have passion power that is outsized not only to its country, but almost to every other nation in the world. It is truly amazing because in this room you have people of every background. You have people from government and from non-governmental organizations. You have people from the entertainment industry who are using their power to help change Haiti for good, and you have ambassadors. You have leaderships of parliament, and you also have individuals who are seeking to start small businesses or running multinational corporations. That's the power of Haiti. Haiti is able to unite people across diverse backgrounds, diverse roles, diverse, really, spaces in life together for their opportunity and for a better future. And in my mind, there is no greater power than the power to convene and to convene those who are passionate on behalf of your future. And so that is truly amazing when you think of Haiti in the context of the world. I first began visiting Haiti in 2009, and as many of you know, if you didn't from this morning's remarks that she made, the Secretary made Haiti a policy priority very early, actually the second month of her tenure at the State Department. And she made fundamentally engaging differently in Haiti a commitment of this administration. And I can remember that when she began by asking what seemed like such a simple but profound question, which was, you know, how is it that we have spent $4 billion in 10 years, but I don't see it when I'm on the ground in Haiti? And how can we make sure that whatever we do next, we don't make the same mistakes? We learn from the lessons of our past. It seemed like a reasonable question. I learned how complicated the answer was, but I'm very grateful that I've had the chance to do that. So one of the things I wanted to do is just take a few minutes before you all get started in the discussion section, was to talk a little bit about what we learned about our work in Haiti, what Haiti has taught our government, what it has taught our administration, but also what it has taught me personally. And I want to state up front that our development experts on the ground in Haiti knew that we could do better, and indeed they were the ones who helped lead the way. So what did we learn? The first thing we learned is that we had not leveraged our diplomacy for development. We also hadn't leveraged our development for our diplomacy goals. And so we learned that we actually needed both of those to actually achieve and maximize our outcomes, and we hadn't done either of those. We learned that we had pursued our development goals with very limited ambitions. We wanted to avoid raising expectations. We didn't want to confront the risk of failure ourselves. We didn't want to confront the disappointment if we did fail from the Haitian people. We learned that we had done lots and lots of very small projects in many different sectors with very limited lasting results, because what we wanted to do was try and meet all of Haiti's needs, and Haiti's needs are enormous. We learned that we had focused on the outputs of our assistance, like how many people we had served, not the actual outcomes, how many people's lives were actually changed because we served them. We learned that we had actually equated foreign assistance with aid and not with investment. We learned that we were prone to pursue what we deemed was best for Haiti instead of what Haiti had determined was best for itself. And we learned that to have lasting input, we had to offer what Haiti needed for Haiti, not what we wanted for Haiti. Our wanting something for Haiti was never going to be enough. We also learned that we had a perception challenge, and the magnitude of it was something I truly didn't appreciate until I was recently speaking with the Prime Minister, and he was sharing his observations about how Haiti is perceived in the international arena. Certainly in this country, there's a gap between what Haiti is and what it is able to be, between what has remained the same and what is actually changing. And it really starts with each of us who are in the room today, because we have a unique opportunity. If you ask the average person who has not been engaged in Haiti, not what is wrong in Haiti, but what is right, they have a hard time answering that question. And it's not just because our engagement is through the lens of the media or the lens of relationships that we have or the lens of the person who we might know. It's because on some level, we have no clear opportunity to be able to share what is right and what is working in Haiti, for fear that that might mean you're overlooking what still needs to be done. So we who care deeply about Haiti, who partner with Haiti, who work in Haiti, who want change for Haiti, we really need to help lessen that perception gap, even while we are striving hard to help improve Haiti's reality. So we took a new approach in Haiti, and actually we took a new approach in how we approach development generally. What did that actually mean? Well, first, we fundamentally changed the way we engaged in Haiti. Consistent with the President's policy directive on development, we actually started focusing our investments on Haiti's priorities instead of ours. We actually, it's hard for America. We're used to leading, and so we had to learn. We brought more than 10 agencies from all around the government together to leverage a single strategy in Haiti instead of 10 different strategies based on our own individual agencies. We decided to be impactful that we not only need to implement effectively as partners, but we actually had to believe in Haiti's ability to actually lead transformative investments and fundamentally change the choices it has today and tomorrow. We had to begin believing that. We're no longer trying to do everything and be everything to everyone. That was a big change for us. We hate disappointing people. Does that mean the U.S. no longer cares about the other sectors where we are not as deeply invested? No, it does not, though I know I've been accused of that, and I've tried to learn to live with it. Does education matter? Of course education matters. Does tourism matter? Of course tourism matters. Does water matter? Yes, it does. Does sanitation matter? Yes, it does. But we also know that Haiti has many strong partners, many of whom are leading in these and other sectors. And with effective coordination, they are making progress. And it doesn't require us to do everything as the United States. Now, there certainly are risks to our new approach, including the risk of failure. We've done some of that. And the risk of not succeeding on time. We've done some of that, too. But those are the risks that we've been prepared to embrace, because the Secretary's admonition in learning from the past was just don't make the same mistake twice. If we're going to fail, let's fail in a new way, not the same ones. So what are our investments? Well, for the U.S.'s part, we've been providing support in areas that are our greatest comparative strength. And those are in 4 sectors: infrastructure and energy, agriculture, health, and the rule of law. And I'd be remiss if I just didn't take a minute or two to share quickly with you 2 examples of the progress that we're seeing. Access to energy, as you just heard the Prime Minister speak about, is a priority for this administration. It also presents one of the major constraints on Haiti's economic development. Last week, the Haitian government invited the private sector and international donors to an energy symposium to share their vision, to coordinate the international sector's investments, and to assess the progress in the sector. An indication that we really are on track for putting ourselves, as the Secretary likes to say, out of business. To address this priority, the U.S. government is funding the services of an experienced management firm that is working for the government of Haiti to improve the effectiveness of Haiti's electric utility named EDH. In a country where 12% of the population has electricity and has that legally, this firm is working to expand the active customer base by 1/3 by next April, and the progress has been encouraging. The utility has quadrupled the number of individuals that have been individuals that are being billed. It's added 13,000 households and businesses to its active customer base, and it's more than doubled the revenue compared to last year. Next month, the first houses in Caracol, which have never had electricity before, will connect to a grid of 10 million megawatts that was financed by the United States in a power plant designed to provide reliable power to residents and the industrial park. We're also working with the Haitian government to launch a competitive process seeking investors in Haiti's first commercially viable industrial-scale solar farm. And in the north, the Haitian government is working with partners on an ambitious plan for economic transformation that Secretary Clinton mentioned this morning. The U.S., along with its other partners, is contributing to that effort. We are helping by putting together new housing settlements for 20,000 people that will have complete access to electricity and water, to social services and job opportunities. 15,000 new formal jobs in one of the largest industrial parks in the Caribbean, on its way to 20,000 jobs by 2016. Reliable electricity for 100,000 people and businesses that currently do not have it. And rehabilitated health clinics and reference hospitals in regional towns. Now, this last investment has drawn some criticism. You might have seen it in the New York Times. I do take solace in the fact that new endeavors do attract criticism, some of it justified, some of it not. But either way, I actually believe critics play an incredibly vital role because they hold stakeholders accountable to deliver the best outcomes. I do not believe it is the goal of criticism to have us lower our ambitions or to have Haiti lower its ambitions, but rather to push us to work harder. Because in Haiti, we cannot perpetuate the status quo. Haiti can't afford that, nor does Haiti want that. In the U.S., we pride ourselves on the promise of the American dream, the ability for anyone to reach for and realize their God-given potential. And we've done everything from building railroads to erecting the Golden Gate Bridge, and yes, even landing that little Curiosity rover on Mars. And there have been oppositions to these and so many other endeavors, but they didn't stop us. They inspired us to do better and be better. And Haiti deserves no less than that. The Secretary said this morning that we have to be in the business of advancing dignity and economic freedom. The pursuit by the government and people of Haiti to create jobs is fostered by a very real desire to choose their own destiny, to choose with dignity a better future of Haiti's own making, not the making of donors and not the making of others. Not that they do not embrace our partnership, but what they seek, and what we all seek in the long term, is the ability to make those decisions for ourselves. It is a continuation of the pursuit of self-determination that inspired so many Haitian men and women 2 centuries ago to overcome almost impossible odds in their struggle for freedom, and that self-determination is certainly something worth investing in. So finally, on a personal note, I realize now that Secretary Clinton really is going to leave the State Department on January 20th, and that means that the special perch I get to operate from and the special opportunities I've had to partner with Haiti will certainly come to an end in this way. I'm hoping they'll still have me in other ways. But it does mean that, for at least the next few months, I will still get up each day wishing and wondering and worrying and working for Haiti. I know I'm just one of legions of people, certainly when I look around this room, who are on and off that island who do the exact same thing. And so while I might have started going to Haiti because the Secretary assigned me to, I've continued to go because I have found no more special gift than having had the chance to help Haiti try and reach for its own dreams. Haiti has an extraordinary future because it has extraordinary people, and because people like you are compelled by its power to dedicate a part of yourselves and a part of your lives to creating a brighter future for them. I hope that when I leave government, I get a chance to continue the work that you're doing and hopefully to be sitting where you're sitting doing exactly the same thing. So thank you all.
Thank you. Next up, Stephanie Strom. I'd like to invite you to have a dialogue with Denis and Ann.
Shall I sit in the middle?
Sit in the middle, yeah.
Sit in the middle here. So,
Yeah.
it's my pleasure to get to interview, I guess, for all of you. On behalf of all of you, Denis, who you know, and Ann, who most of you I think know, but I'll introduce formally. Ann is the Chief Executive of Foncosé Financial Services, which I am very happy to get to, I think, tell all of you, was just named one of the top 10 microfinance institutions in the world by GuideStar. Which doesn't, I'm sure, surprise any of you or me. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Haiti Action Network and what's made it work and what some of its challenges have been. I know in talking about it with some of the folks from the Clinton organization, it is one of the most successful of their action networks. They have very many, and it's kind of like there's no sort of one set way that these things work, but it does happen to be one of the most successful. And maybe, Denis, you could tell us a little bit about why you think it has worked. It's been around for 4 years. You took it over 3 years ago, I believe, right? Is it because you're such a, excuse the expression, ball buster? But
No, I think everybody's a ball buster. First of all, there's a sort of a hardcore of people that have been involved in the network. And, we have made lots of mistakes. Some things
tell
haven't
us,
worked
share
out.
some of those with us.
Well, some of the projects we had were a little bit too ambitious, and then some of the projects were not properly funded as well. So we were half our time trying to raise money, having whip-arounds for people to fund their projects, and then trying to go to donors as well. So we've kind of learned from that. And because this is pretty new in the context of any development money fundraising, if you have people who are making promises and trying to move them forward with you, and sometimes they don't have all the money for the project, and you're trying to find new people as well. So that's been a challenge. But
so do you need to have the project funded before you actually start it?
You need about half the project funded. It's when you start going on beyond the half, and you need more money, that can be a challenge. So there are, in this little booklet, there are maybe a dozen, maybe 20 or so projects that are, some of them are really small, like $8,000. going to 15 million, which is Anne's ask. And it's interesting, you know, the work of Fongosi, I think, is absolutely brilliant because it's right deep down in communities working with women. And you know, I see Yunus here from Bangladesh, who's the founder of this kind of movement worldwide. He's coming to Haiti, for example, on the 15th of October on a Saturday to have a conference on how can you galvanize more money. So there are lots of foundations in this room who really, really, if you want to put money to work, you've never seen anything like it, because Fongosi is a really well set up, well managed organization, and you know it needs money to lend to women. And you know, women are the catalyst for change in Haiti. You know, the men have screwed things up up until now, and you know, I'm sorry that to all the men in the room, but, you know, but genuinely, you know, if you really want to see change, women are going to be the catalyst for change in Haiti. So, you know, some things have worked, but a lot of things, nearly everything, well, 3/4 of things have worked.
Okay. Now he's just made your pitch for you, right? All right, you have to take him out to dinner now.
Yeah, I guess.
So Anne, you've been part of the network for how long?
Since the beginning, since 2008 was my first CGI.
Okay.
And at that time, I think it was a slightly different system because they had actually assigned to me 2 mentors who helped me figure out how to make my way through CGI. And Paul Farmer, who's in the audience, was one of the people he was not a mentor, but he was one of the people who was right there by my side, helping to introduce me to Denis O'Brien. That's when I first met Denis. And, you know, so from the very, very beginning, I found CGI to really be just the kind of place, because for me, all of progress depends on building relationships, building sound relationships with people. And CGI gives you a chance not to develop those deep relationships, but over time to develop them. And I've been coming back ever since, and I've been coming to the vast majority of the Haiti Action Network meetings as long as they were in Haiti, because right after the earthquake, they had quite a few here in New York. But I've been in Haiti for 16 years now, and I really find that this Haiti Action Network has contributed incredibly to the lack of coordination that we had in the country for so many years. We haven't solved the problem. We still have a huge lack of coordination, but it's a lot better having Denis O'Brien holding you accountable every step of the way. And he runs those meetings with an iron fist. And if he thinks your commitment is not worth a damn, he's going to tell you right there in the middle of the meeting with everyone there. Well, I really don't see what value this is going to have to the country. Can you explain it to me? That's how he runs the meetings.
I got to see a little bit of this when I was there. I think much to some of the Clinton folks' consternation, sort of descended one day and sat like a fly on the wall and watched people go around and talk about red, yellow, and green projects, and was sort of amazed when people would actually fess up that their project was in a red status, which meant things weren't going so well. And people were quite candid. It was very interesting.
But it's great, you know, one of the great things is you see now Haitians, you know, Haitian business people, Haitian organizations, Haitian entrepreneurs. If you take some of the commitments that you're going to hear from shortly, you know, from Duquesne, who won the Entrepreneur of the Year.
Yes.
From Valentine, he won the Entrepreneur of the Year. So, you know, it is now, it's not just, you know, it's not a bunch of well-meaning people, it's everybody, you know. And, you know, small businesses, small and medium enterprises in Haiti are really doing fantastic things, you know. And you know, tourism, handicrafts, all these different areas, sectors are really going to change the economy. The economy is growing 8%. So, you know, this is one of the greatest foreign direct investment opportunities for business people anywhere in the world, in Haiti.
You were talking about that when you made your introduction today. When I was there in December, there had been sort of a flurry of foreign direct investment, and then it kind of stopped. What do you think is preventing big foreign corporations? What are they afraid of?
Well, it depends where they're from. If they're from Europe, Europeans are terrible for looking at all the problems. Whereas if you're from Brazil or you're from Asia or Korea, South Korea, you look at the opportunity. This is a country that is a very creative, fantastically able workforce, 1 hour from the United States. And with everybody moving, in just-in-time manufacturing, just in the apparel businesses alone, it's an immense opportunity. That's why Caracol is going to be so successful. So I think there's a lot of foreign direct investors quietly coming in, investing in local companies, not doing big bang stuff. There are big bangs as well. And we're in the Foreign Direct Investment Board, we're trying to get organised to go after that, because there's lots of countries trying to get, you're competing against Panama, you're competing against El Salvador, all these countries, Jamaica, to try and get jobs in. So I think it's just gradually moving up. All boats are rising at the same time. The Prime Minister was talking about just the reconstruction sector, and the thousands of people are now finding employment. So it's about moving everybody up. It's like a juggler. It's keeping all the balls in the air and moving forward. And in the middle of all this, you have 8% growth rate from a low base.
Okay. And Anne, what are your clients worrying about?
Well, right now, because a lot of the NGOs that were, especially the international NGOs that were there after the earthquake, a lot of them have left. And the value that they left behind is really good Haitian employees, people who had jobs when those NGOs were there, and now they don't have a job anymore. And so while we count up all the jobs we've created, there's a lot of jobs being lost as this happens. In addition, you have, we had so much cash for work after the earthquake, and that was giving people a little bit of income. And now all the cash for work is gone. And so from my perspective, from my client's perspective, the economy is having problems. And in fact, the government, the president, decided to delay the opening of school for a month so that he would have the time to get some more money out into the economy so people could buy shoes for their kids to wear to school. So it is a growing economy, and there are lots and lots of opportunities. But at the same time, from the perspective of those people who are out in the rural areas, who are trying to get their kids in school, who are trying to keep food on the table every day, we have to come to terms with the fact that, as the Prime Minister said, we have a really serious problem of extreme poverty. And a lot of people can be doing fine and looking fine, especially in Port-au-Prince, while people are starving in the countryside or even in Port-au-Prince. So you have both of these aspects. You have an economy that's growing at the same time that you have a serious problem of extreme poverty. I've been living in Haiti for 16 years, and this is the first time that I have actually seen a well thought out attack on extreme poverty by the government. To me, that is the biggest sign of hope that we have right now.
And now the folks that you're talking about, would they be candidates to work in the types of companies that Denis would hope would be investing in Haiti?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them now they've been educated, they've had real jobs, they've had real experience on the ground. I mean, we're laying people off too in Foncosé. I mean, everybody's trying to become more efficient and be able to do the same things that we have been doing with less resources, because so much of the money that came in right after the earthquake just isn't as available as it was before. So we're all struggling with that. And that's good. You know, it's really good that we're trying to become more competitive. I consider Foncosé a small and medium enterprise. We have 900 employees. We have to become more efficient. We have to be able to do more with what we have to work with right now. So I think all of us are going through that, and that's a healthy thing to have happen. It's a very healthy thing.
Yeah, there was such a surge of money going into Haiti post the earthquake. It was false, you know. So now you have this kind of glass pie where, you know, money is, a lot of NGOs have pulled out. I wouldn't be sure whether all of them, you know, I'd say a third of them did good work. A lot of it was sort of NGO tourism, to be honest with you. And, you know, what really the lesson from the earthquake was get organized. And I think the work of the United States military post the earthquake just was incredible. But then when they pulled out, it was a lot of disorganization. Then there was no government for a while. And then obviously with President Martelli coming to power, you know, over a year ago, things began to move. So it has transitioned from a false economy with so much money there, with money for work schemes and that, to now equilibrium, and now we have to move forward and build on that.
And do you find that people's interest in Haiti has declined somewhat? Because, you know, everybody was so eager to help after the earthquake, and now there are a million other demands on people.
Well, I worry about all the European donors, to be honest with you. I think Spain will come through, but, you know, there's so many economic challenges in Europe at the moment. Brazil has been extraordinary, fantastic. United States, obviously. But, you know, there's a question mark about all the money that Europe promised. And maybe we need to get them into the CGI and then they'll all keep their promises. But that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But so that, I mean, what the Prime Minister is struggling is a very limited budget. And, you know, the examples of people not paying custom duties and all that is massive, but they're quick wins. And it's actually funding the government. And we fortunately, you know, a lot of donors only want to deal with NGOs, but that's going around the government. We have got to work through the government and build capacity in every one of the departments of government. Otherwise, we will be sitting here in 5 years' time. And, you know, not particularly wise, but probably dumber. And that's why, you know, we encourage everybody to work through each of the government departments rather than trying to circumvent them.
And now we have government departments committed to ending extreme poverty in the country. That's the first. But what's really great, Stephanie, is the Haiti Action Network isn't leaving. I mean, we're still there. And I think we can do a whole lot better, because what we haven't done as well as we should be doing is bringing in the private sector, bringing in civil society, and not just being meetings of international NGOs. And so I think what I would like to see is a commitment from the Haiti Action Network to really bring in all the stakeholders in the country to deal with these problems. And let's get these commitments funded. And then let's be sure they really are held accountable for the results that we're all looking for.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Andrew, did you want to get some questions from, Alexander? Sorry, Alex.
3 questions, and then we'll come back to the commitments.
Terrific.
So 3 questions, 1 from each section. Who has a question? Your question? Let's take your question. We'll come back to you second. Please.
So this isn't so much a question for the panel, but Denis and I had spoken earlier about giving a brief update on EarthSpark's progress on our commitment. If you want to say it for another time, that's fine. We're going to just go ahead with it now. So we've been working in Haiti for a few years now. Our commitment was to scale up retail access to small-scale clean energy products and develop microgrids in Haiti. So this is talking about some of the accountability. So I wanted to share with everybody today that we've essentially completed our commitment. We now have 50 retailers around the country, mostly over 5 individual departments in the country, and 1 microgrid that we're going to bring online by November 1st. And so this has really been through UN Environment Program. Deutsche Bank has provided us with about $100,000 in debt financing to make this work possible. And the National Geographic Foundation to make the microgrid possible. So what we're really looking to do now is to make a serious dent in Prime Minister Lamothe's goal of reaching even more Haitians, the 75% who don't have access to electricity, which is about 7.5 million households over the next 2 years. And the way we want to do that is by continuing the growth of our clean energy stores and by continuing the growth of our microgrids. And so I could come back here in 2 years, just as I was here 2 years ago, making the first commitment, as I can say, we've gone from 1 microgrid to 50 microgrids. And what we're looking for on that is a strategic partner and an investor to make that a commercially viable operation, and we can reach over 100,000 Haitian households for that commitment.
And how much is your ask?
That's not a financial ask on the commercial partnership. I'm looking for an investor who is also a strategic partner to make that happen. And if anybody is interested in that as a corporation, as starting a new for-profit entity to develop 50 microgrids in Haiti, you can come talk to me about that and we can make that happen.
Why don't you stand right there after this session so they know where to find you. All right, you have a question? Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, Dominic McSorley from Conservative Wine. Just one question I think there's a unique model here with the Haiti Action Network. It's the first time, I suppose, that Concern had actively involved in a different kind of grouping that brought people from such a diverse group together, private sector, national NGOs, in a space, I think, where that conversation wasn't happening in the traditional coordination systems, which, as we know, tend to be rather stovepipe. It's donors talking to NGOs, it's the UN talking with NGOs. So I think there are definitely huge lessons here positive lessons that could be applied to other situations other than Haiti in many of the crises that are happening out there. So I'm just curious to know, is this a model maybe that in terms of documentation and stuff like that and lessons that we could apply this? Because I can see the need for this in many, many other situations other than Haiti.
Well, I think, the CGI is unique in the sense people come here to New York every year. But they also go to other gatherings, in Europe and Switzerland, in the west coast of California. But there's nothing coming out of those meetings. Everybody goes and listens, and it's a talking fest. But, in this case, with the Clinton Global Initiative, it's actually do something. And, whether it's small or big, but do something. And I think it is the best model for development that I've seen. But my experience is a bit limited compared with Anne's because she's there 16 years. But it kind of matches people with a little bit of guilt and a little bit of generosity all in one go.
Well, I think the Clinton Global Initiative certainly understands the power of the Haiti Action Network. And we're not the only network, but I think we're ranked right up there at the top compared to the other CGI networks. So I do think it's a worthwhile exercise, and I think that we are doing a lot. I think Scarlett's over there, and Scarlett has had so much to do with keeping this whole thing together and keeping And so she's capturing a lot of this learning. I feel confident that she is, and she's sharing it with her colleagues at Clinton Global Initiative. But, this is unique, as Denis says. There's not that many CGIs in the world.
But it's tailored for everybody. It's all commerce, small amounts of money for projects to big.
And one of the qualities of partnership that actually makes it work is not the tolerance for agreement, but the tolerance for disagreement.
Yeah.
And the wrestling that's happened there and the vulnerability that it's taken to do that work is really important to highlight. Let's get one more question, then I want to hear from some up here first. Then we'll come to the commitment makers.
Hi, Kathleen Matthews from Marriott International. I was really struck by Cheryl Mills' point that for too long NGOs and governments have gone to Haiti and told Haiti what they need as opposed to asking Haiti what they need and letting them sort of direct their own destiny. And so that really goes to the government and sort of the government's capacity or the capacity building that's going on in government to really forge its own way. And since both you, Anne, and Denis have been in Haiti for some time, can you give me your assessment of what you're seeing in terms of the government's capacity? Prime Minister Lamothe talked about some pretty dramatic changes, but what you're seeing on the ground in terms of the change in the years that you've been there?
Well, I think, that first of all, there's a great sense of urgency. And that is really a great catalyst to have in a lot of the government departments. It varies from government department to government department. and minister to minister. But for example, in tourism, there's a dynamic woman who, Stephanie, who is the Minister for Tourism, who's doing fantastic work. And what she's trying to do is say, okay, we cannot go for the same tourism as the Dominican Republic. We have to be different. We have to have smaller family-owned hotels, you know, everything, you know, sort of more artisan in a way. And that kind of tourism is going to bring a certain kind of visitor to Haiti. So it really depends on the ministry, but there is it's night and day between the urgency between the last administration, and people will kill me for saying this, but I might as well say it. You know, the last administration, there was no urgency. Now there is urgency, and that is because the Prime Minister and President Martelli are moving people forward. So I think you got to be, you know, you can't judge, you know, your form of government here in the United States or back in Ireland to, you know, administration in Haiti. You've got to work with what is there and bring them with you and encourage them.
Great.
Yeah, I would just add to that you know, this government's really only been together for about 4 months, and what they've done is set some priorities and try to, as Denis said, the sense of urgency. But, and there's an incredible sense of hope that something good will come out of this. But you have to take account of all of the public officials that were killed in the earthquake. I mean, it's not just the buildings that are gone, it was the people that were in those buildings. And that's going to take time to recover and get a public sector that can be strong and have the capacity to implement all the programs that are now coming up. But at least we've got the programs coming up. At least we're debating them, and they're coming to organizations like Foncose for advice. How should we do this? Or Zami La Santé. How can we do this program on a bigger scale? So the questions are there, the dialogue is there, and that's what I really want to challenge the Haiti Action Network to continue to keep those channels of communication. And we have to get the private sector more engaged in many of these initiatives.
And the wider world. I think that is one of the great skills of President Clinton, but also this administration, is keeping the wider world galvanized in actually coming through on their promises on the funding, because that without money this government cannot be as successful as it wants to be.
Correct. Thank you very much. Please join me in thanking our panel. So Duquesne, I'd love for you to come up and share with us your work.
Thank you, Alexander, and thank you for the panelists before me. My name is Duquesne Fednard, and I am the CEO of DNA Green Enterprise, an organization that I started in 2009, looking at bringing low-cost, affordable, clean energy to underserved communities in Haiti. And actually, EarthSpark is one of our partners in the first initiative, and the second initiative that is talked about also, we will be partnering in that venture to really bring electricity to rural Haiti. So really, last year, we made a commitment to CGI that we will be manufacturing locally in Haiti 100,000 cook stoves that are highly efficient compared to traditional stoves that we hope will have the impact on deforestation, on the health of charcoal users in Haiti, on job creation, on economic development, and uplifting of community. I like to say that we are manufacturing stove, but really we are in the business of lifting up communities, because what we are doing is looking at a holistic approach with one project to really tackle different problems that the country faces. So I'm glad to say that we already surpassed the goal that we set for ourselves for the first year. So we already had 26,000 stoves manufactured and delivered to the people in Haiti. And it's been done through a market-based approach. So we are not an NGO. So we are a social business manufacturing local stove in Haiti, distributing the stove. People are paying for the stove, and they are using them on a daily basis. So this is a new model that we hope that we can replicate around Haiti to move away from the traditional aid model and NGO model to really moving toward a much more sustainable path. So what have we learned doing that process. I mean, we've learned so much, and we've made so many mistakes. And the next 5 minutes, I hope to go and probably talk to you about 3 things that we find that works for us, and 2 things that we're still struggling with. And hopefully we can do that and talk more on during the discussion slide. So, okay. So the first picture that you saw, and forgive us, for the bad, I would say, could you go back, please? Yeah, I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked that. So we don't have very good marketing visual materials because we have not been focusing on that. So we forgive us for this, but this is exactly what we do in Haiti. And I really want to focus on this to really bring the first point or the first things that we've learned in Haiti. So the black stove, we're fortunate enough, creatively enough, to bring a stove expert to Haiti to help us develop a stove for the Haitian market. And that stove expert has worked all over Africa with different countries and everything, and really advise us on that stove. And we make that stove, and the stove did not sell until today. It doesn't sell. So we said, well, where do we go from there? So one of the people that actually purchased one of our first stove, out of the blue came back to us and tell us why the stove wasn't working. So that person helped us develop that stove. And that brings me to my first point. That stove, the black stove, is cheaper. This stove is the blue stove is more expensive, but yet we developed that almost a year ago. After we developed the black stove, we are able to sell 15,000 stove, and we've yet to sell 100 of this stove. So the question was, why is it not selling? And realizing that it wasn't about a cheap product or creating a product with cheap labor that everybody is talking about, but it was really more about creating a product that works for the people, and the best expert to do that is the people themselves, the end users. So really, from that point on, we try to get our products in the hand of our distributors, the end user, and let them be part of the design aspect of it. Okay, now I need to second. Now, the second thing that we've learned also is not to look for the solution of Haiti's problem outside of Haiti. That Ms. Cheryl Mills really well said, and all the panelists have said that. So it's really looking inside of Haiti and trying to use what Haiti has as talent and skill and resources to do that. So what you are looking at is Smith. Smith is somebody that we recruited from Cirque du Soleil, very low income. He was a stove manufacturer, traditional stove manufacturer. We retrained Smith in our new stove, and now Smith is earning 5-time minimum wages in Haiti, got health insurance, got a subsidy for education, got a meal per day, and is in the process of moving out of Cirque du Soleil, which is the largest slum in Haiti. I'm trying to go fast. So the third point, thank you. So the third point I wanted to make is, we had to actually find a way to get our products in the hand of our end users as quickly and as cheaply as possible. So what we did, we aligned ourselves with people who are already selling food product in the open market. And those people can make the pitch easily and sell our stove. So we were very creative in finding a very easy distribution channel and get those stoves as cheaply as possible in the hand of our users. Now, let's just talk, because I have only 1 minute left, about what did not work for us, and we're still struggling. Fundraising. One of the things in Haiti that we find out as a social venture entrepreneur like me, we cannot raise funding through grant. We locked out of the traditional investor pool because we cannot promise the same kind of return on investment. So we are left with the impact investor field, which is very narrow, and often the one who focus on Haiti put Haiti in the low priority because all the money that's been coming to Haiti. So we are not able to actually fund our project. We have a system that works, and we demonstrate that it works, but we cannot take it to scale. And that's our biggest challenge right now, is really raising funding to take that to scale. The second challenge that we face in Haiti is supplier financing is almost unheard of. Everybody wants to have cash on hand to buy your raw materials. And we are still figuring out a way to finance our inventory of raw materials so that we can take this project to scale. So anybody who's here who knows how to do that, we would love to talk to you afterward. So if there's any takeaway from this, social entrepreneurship can work. And I said can work because we want to make sure that the funding is there also to make that work. It's not just about creating cheap products or cheap labor. It's really creating a product that works for the people, and the end user are the best expert to actually make that happen. And be thoughtful in your distribution channel and be very innovative in your partnership and fundraising. So I'll be glad to actually, during the discussion time, talk about what we've been able to do to keep the project afloat at this point. Thank you.
Sasha Kramer from Soil.
I'm going to stand up here because I have some props, and those are a surprise. This is just a little teaser at the beginning. My name is Sasha Kramer, and I'm the co-founder and executive director of an organization called Soil. Haiti is a country that once had such fertile soil that it produced 2/3 of Europe's tropical produce. And now today, several centuries later, it's a country where nearly 60% of children are malnourished, and over half of the food that's consumed in the country is imported. I think that, excuse me. I think that what drew me to Haiti was trying to understand how this transition happened. If you could excuse me one moment, this rarely happens to me, but I'm actually going to grab my notes. They're right here, because I think I'm not accustomed to speaking to an audience quite like this, with so many amazing people who are so committed to Haiti. Thanks, everyone. Haiti is also a country where centuries of oppression have created a vicious cycle of poverty and environmental destruction. However, if you know where to look for it, you can always find light, even among the most devastating statistics that inform most international perceptions of Haiti. Haiti's struggle has been marked by resistance, and wherever there is resistance, there is the possibility of positive transformation. It is this possibility that keeps hope alive in Haiti, and it is such an honor to share this stage today, and in fact this entire room, with a group of people who believe so strongly in the possibility of positive transformation. As an ecologist, the first thing that I noticed when I came to Haiti was this brown lip that sort of extends around the coastline of the country. You can actually literally see Haiti's fertile soil eroding into the ocean. However, after several months of being in Haiti, I realized that it's not only soil that's going into Haiti's waterways. Human wastes are also contaminating Haiti's oceans, rivers, and lakes. What's that? I swear this was not part of my talk, but I love it. This was perfect timing. I honestly don't know what.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay in your seat until we get word on what we have.
Perfect timing. Well, oh yeah, once it stops. Well, that's great. It'll give me a minute. Do not run. All right. Okay, well, I am actually incredibly grateful for that. I'm just going to restart as if none of that first part happened. So, Haiti is the country with the lowest sanitation coverage in the Western Hemisphere, and almost 65% of the population do not have access to a toilet. This lack of sanitation is cited as the primary reason that cholera has spread so rapidly in Haiti since 2010, claiming over 7,000 lives. Soil was founded in 2006 with a mission to transform wastes into resources, using an innovative approach to sanitation in which a toilet is not only a means to having dignified sanitation, but is also a way to produce fertile soil that can be used for reforestation and agriculture. Since the earthquake in 2010, Soil has made a commitment to CGI to provide sanitation to over 20,000 people living in the camps of Port-au-Prince, to expand our waste treatment facilities to be able to treat over 1 million gallons of human waste per year, and to develop a sustainable and replicable business model for household sanitation. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our toilets. You can see this is a special kind of toilet that actually separates the urine and the poop. And the reason for this, and I am going to say poop a lot, so that'll wake you all up as well. The reason for this is so that it cuts down on odors and also to facilitate the transportation of the poop, which actually contains 99% of the pathogens. So the human wastes are collected in these sealable drums and transported to an off-site composting facility in the beautiful Soil Poop Mobile. When we get them to the composting facility, we dump those drums into these bins and leave them for about a year. And during that year, ecological processes will decompose the human waste and turn it into fertile soil, killing off the pathogens by achieving temperatures of over 160 degrees Fahrenheit. The resulting compost can then be used to plant, and this was a slide we were going to change, but I told Jason 5 minutes before, so he couldn't do it. Can be used to plant all kinds of things, but mostly we use it to plant trees, which then stabilize the soil and provide both food and income. So I have a few key takeaway messages here, and one of them is that when I first came to Haiti in 2004 as a human rights advocate, I immediately realized that the most pervasive human rights abuse in Haiti is actually poverty, and that's something that all of the panelists have been speaking about today. And it's poverty that lies at the root of all of the environmental and social problems that we see today. So for this reason, it's really important that any sort of a project or commitment to Haiti incorporate the creation of jobs. Could we go back, please? So another lesson that I had to learn the hard way, actually, and I think many of you may have learned this as well, is that construction is easy. It's the ongoing maintenance of projects, which is a challenge. And so many of us have seen large capital investments go into Haiti. People clap their hands, leave, and assume that the work is done. And years later, they look, and the projects have fallen into disrepair because of lack of education, lack of tools. This is a waste of money. Really, the most important thing about doing sustainable work in Haiti is community participation from the beginning to the end. It also requires rigorous research and long-term planning and proactive sharing of lessons learned. And I think that one of the reasons that Soil has had some successes in Haiti is because we rely on a staff that is 99% Haitian, and the few international employees we do have live in Haiti, speak Haitian Creole, and are driven by a love and a commitment to the communities that we serve. All of you who work in Haiti know that everything is much more costly and time-consuming in a country where there is little infrastructure. So it's very important that any projects really try to incorporate long-term infrastructure investments. And this is one of the reasons we focus so heavily on waste treatment facilities. In working with waste treatment, we've realized the importance of government oversight and regulation to ensure that environmental and public health standards are met. As the only representative of an NGO speaking today, I feel it's very important to say that we who do nonprofit work in Haiti really need to look towards bolstering local government capacity instead of replacing the government and the work that they do. And really, our long-term objective should be to work ourselves out of a job, handing over the services we provide to the private sector and also to governments. Finally, sustainability is achieved by providing a needed service or product. And one of the best ways to create wealth is to take something that someone else has thrown away and transform it into something useful. Our motto that we've borrowed from nature is that there is no such thing as waste. And I think that all of us in this room can work more closely together so that the waste from one enterprise can become a valuable resource for another. I want to thank President Bill Clinton yesterday for saying that we need to not only focus on working to stop what's bad, we need to start working towards things that are good as well. And I think that that's what we're trying to do. Not only stop the spread of cholera, but to provide a life-sustaining resource in the process. Thank you very much. My time is way up, but I am going to be passing around some props here. I'm just going to hand them off to either side. This is that valuable resource that I was referring to. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Sasha. David Curran, I'd love for you to come up and share OPIC's work, and then we'll start the community dialogue.
Well, I mean, I knew Sasha was going to be a hard act to follow. I didn't know she'd be passing out poop or whatever in the fire alarms and all that. Actually, you know, they say in presentations that the chance that anyone's listening to you after 1 minute of speaking is about 10%. And late in the afternoon, after such inspired speaking, the chance that anyone's listening to me after 1 minute is going to be almost zero. So I want some audience participation. So I want to ask everyone to pick up this. If you're sitting on your Haiti book or and what I want to say to you, in case you don't remember anything else in terms of what our company, NRG, has done in Haiti, just open to the front cover, the picture of President Clinton at the Bonberger School in Boucan-Carré. President Clinton was there for the inauguration of the solar power that we put on the roof of this school together with Self, Bob Freeling here. And whenever I sort of wonder whether what we're doing in Haiti is the right thing, I just look at the picture of that boy in the glasses, looking up at President Clinton and the look of hope and optimism on his face. Now, I like to think his hope and optimism is directly tied to NRG, but it may be tied to the fact that he's standing next to President William Jefferson Clinton. So, but help me with that. Anyway, when in this room we're surrounded by people who are making far greater commitment to Haiti, probably in 1 year than I will in a lifetime. You know, I really wanted to figure out what my highest and best use was. And so my comments are going to be sort of geared towards any corporates out there who might be considering a commitment to Haiti, which is something that I can highly commend. I think Denis put on the board a $100 million funding shortfall. And let's face it, when it comes to $100 million, that's the type of thing that's going to take several corporations to do. So I'd like to talk a little bit about our journey. And one thing I would say to everyone, I am the CEO of a Fortune 300 company, a publicly traded New York Stock Exchange traded company. We have a market cap of $6 billion. We're the largest solar power company in the United States, amongst other things. But the important thing is, for this purpose, the money that I commit on behalf of my company, the human resources that I send to Haiti, those resources don't belong to me. They belong to the shareholders of NRG. And while I am a shareholder of NRG, so I take the resources that we commit in public service very, very seriously. I focus on them far more than I would on an equal commitment that's in our core business. And so, you know, my journey in terms of Haiti, the electricity business it's a very local business, and our company is not particularly international. And so Haiti was a bit of a stretch for us. But we do have a corporate ethos that's very important to me, which is we want to make a difference. What I say to the 5,000 people that work at NRG is every day you come to the office, I want you to feel like you're making a difference. If you're not, I'm doing something wrong. And you know, my Haitian journey began in late 2009 when I met President Clinton for the first time, and he leaned in very close to me backstage at a political event in Trenton, New Jersey, of all places, and he said, "David, you and your company can make a difference in Haiti." And I'm sure a lot of you have gotten that treatment before. I see a lot of knowing, you know, poor Chelsea probably gets it every day. So anyway, so Did I miss the pickle or something? Where's? Okay, Sasha, you're really throwing me off here. So, anyway, so based on, do I have to point at a particular? Okay, so after President Clinton hit me up with that before the earthquake. The earthquake happened at the CGI commitment in 2010. We made a commitment to bring electricity, solar electricity, to Boucan-Carré, which is the Central Plateau. You've already heard how poorly served Haiti is by electric grid, and the rural areas of Haiti in particular. And so, I'm pleased to tell you now that the commitment again made 2 years ago, working again with Self and Bob Freeling, we are finished now, and we've put solar power on 20 schools in Boucan-Carré, a solar market garden, and the Lashto fish farm, which we will talk about a little bit later. They asked us to talk about challenges we had faced, and there's no doubt working in Haiti requires more creativity, agility, perseverance than maybe in the normal case. Here we're trying to depict, was not common to us in our normal course when we send people to assess things, that they would actually have to walk there, that there'd be no roads, to get there. But I would tell you, and again, in terms of I would say to all the other people who represent corporations here, every single employee from NRG that has ever gone to Haiti has come back a better person, a transformed person, because qualities of creativity, agility, perseverance, they're very valuable in Haiti. They're very valuable in the United States as well. So it's been a very positive impact. Now, I don't want to talk about fish farming too much because the great Valentine Abe is in the house. And I would just say, Valentine, stand up so everyone can give you a round of applause. The basic point I want to make about this is we also believe in, I think the military term is force multiplier, where we can take our commitment and get more out of it. And for the people of Haiti, there's no greater force multiplier than what Val does with fish farming. Through the application of a modest amount of electricity, he can increase his fish production by 10 times, and he's doing that. And the knock-on effect in terms of the economic benefit, the fishermen who can support their families, the nutritional aspects, is just, we could go on hours and hours, but since they're holding me to 46 more seconds, I'm going to keep going. The other thing for us, force multiplier, we play a pretty central role. We have a lot of purchasing power in solar in the United States. We wanted to leverage that with our partners in the United States. We don't do inverters, we don't do batteries and things like that. So one of the things we've done, both with our partners and with our employees, we actually had a contest internally where we invited everyone in the company to write an essay on why they should get the opportunity to come to Haiti in the middle of June to climb on the roof of Paul Farmer's orphanage in Zomni Beni in 120 degrees and install solar panels. And the 5 people on the right of that picture from around the company were the ones that won, and they became a great workforce for us. And and we knew this was a bit antithetical to the Haiti, let's develop the internal skills here, and we did work with local companies. But the impact of having these 5 people from our company on the 5,000 people back home, in terms of the entire corporation buying in to what we were doing in Haiti, was fantastic. So these are my key takeaways. I'll let you read them for yourself. The only thing that I would really say is just on a personal level. Some of the things that you hear talked about in the CGI about the importance of electricity in terms of, if you think of education, health, communication as being key to modern society. They all run on electricity. And when you live in a country like the United States where the grid works with 99.9% reliability, even someone who's in the electric industry doesn't really get what it's like to not have electricity until you go to some place like rural Haiti and see what a difference you can make. And so what I would tell you is for me, my wife, who's equally committed, we've taken our children down on all these trips to Haiti to be on Paul Farmer's roof. And for our company, our commitment to Haiti is not going to end with our successful conclusion of our CGI commitment. We are going to continue in Haiti and look for more places where we can add value added in terms of bringing solar electricity to Haiti. Thank you very much.
So let's turn the conversation over to you. What we want to share now is lessons for the future. Some of those lessons have been hard won. And we want to understand from those lessons, not just what did you learn, but what are the implications for what we're going to do next? Because clearly we're not finished. And what I ask you again to do is share what does it take to move forward? Because what we have the opportunity to do is shift the narrative from sort of our own stories to putting the community at the center. So what are the lessons learned that this community needs to understand? We have a first comment here, then we'll come to you next.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hausler, founder and CEO of Build Change. And I'd like to share a success story and some lessons from Haiti, and thank the Haiti Action Network for helping to facilitate what we've done in Haiti. So I'm sure all of those of you who have been involved in the Haiti Action Network for a while have heard a lot about transitional shelter. Build Change, the organization that I run, focuses on permanent housing. And we have finished 800 permanent housing units in Haiti and have another 700 or 800 that are going to be finished in the next couple of months. And we think this is a huge accomplishment because these are permanent units that have been either retrofitted or built new. Okay. But we haven't just come in and built them for the people. This has all been done in a very homeowner-driven context in which we've hired Haitian engineers. We've empowered the homeowners to make decisions about the design of their house. They've hired Haitian builders who have been trained in the process. We've worked in partnership with the government. In fact, the retrofitting standard that we've developed is going to be part of the nationwide retrofitting guideline. So we're now working to expand this successful and sustainable program and looking for additional partnerships that would provide this technical assistance as well as the financing that the homeowners need to rebuild their houses.
Okay, thank you. And let's try and understand what is the challenge of partnership. We've talked about the challenge of coordination. What's it going to take to do better on that moving forward? And we want to get as many ideas, so I'm going to encourage you to be brief. The President is also going to join us at the end of this dialogue. Yes, you have a...
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, David, for all the nice things you said about me. And thank you, Denis, for your support also. One thing that I wanted to say about Haiti and the different programs is that we need to scale things up. We've been a little bit, I won't say negligent, but while working in Haiti, we've thought very little. We didn't think big, even from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that has been one of the biggest problems that the country has encountered. And, you know, several times David and I have talked, and when I told him I wanted to produce 5 million pounds of fish a year, he said, well, why can't we produce 20 million pounds of fish? Always trying to convince me to go bigger and bigger and bigger. So thank you, David, for that. It's very challenging.
Where are we at?
Yeah. But how do we take up that challenge? Because the primary needs are so local and so real. So what is it going to take up this scale, bigger vision challenge?
Well, we build strategic partnership. Mm-hmm. For example, for our fish program, we needed electricity, energy. Okay. We partnered with NRG.
Okay.
We needed advice on financial management. We work with the Social Enterprise Fund, which are people, retired executives from the U.S. that we, approached, and we asked them to mentor us.
Great.
We work with the Clinton Foundation to locate people, partners for us. We went to, for example,
You've been busy.
Very busy.
Yes.
Very busy.
I know you've been busy. And what we're trying to pull out is everyone in this room is going to be making new decisions about how to spend their time, what investments to make, the size of the risk they're going to take. So what else should we be considering as we make those decisions is what we're looking for. You want to say something?
Yes.
Quickly. Thank you. It's on.
Yeah, so I really wanted to touch upon what you said before about building partnership. It's not an easy task. We all here have the same goal. We are looking at the same thing, but how to get there is always what makes partnership different. And my work in Haiti in trying to create partnership to really reach the goal of manufacturing and delivering and to the untapped target market. I don't call it BOP. I call it untapped target market. I found that you always have people who wants to do the same thing with you or have the same goal with you, but we can't come together because the way that we want to reach there is so different that we cannot come to really work the same path. And that was, just to give you an example, so we were trying to actually, when we could not raise funding through all the different means that I mentioned briefly in my presentation, so we said, okay, well, what do we have? What can we leverage? So we'd say, okay, well, we have a stove that is reducing charcoal. So why don't we capitalize on the carbon credit aspect of that, bring investors in, because that's an asset class that people can invest in. So we start looking at different organizations. So we talked to one organization and he says, well, you have a great project. We are willing to actually fund your project entirely, so you don't have to worry about funding. We said, okay, fine, great. Oh, let's just sign a document. And we find out, when we send them all our financials and what we wanted to do, it wasn't in line with what they had in mind. So they wanted us to be operating like an NGO, not necessarily as a social business. So while the goal was similar, but really, how to get there was very different, and we had to back away from that. So really, the challenge is really finding the right partner that has the same vision, but also can work with you on your way to get there. So I think that's where the challenge is.
It's David has adopted Valentine, in a business relationship. Okay, we need somebody now to work with Duquesne. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal. There are people here in the room who have lots of time, who have loads of business experience, who can work with Duquesne and help them.
Yeah.
It's not too complicated.
Yeah. It's not too complicated to set it up, but we also want to recognize.
He's walking the talk.
Yeah, he's a great example. But in the world of those partnerships are competing pressures and commitments.
Yeah.
And so what are we learning about those competing pressures and commitments to help us make different choices from the lessons learned? We're trying to pull out the lessons learned. There's a comment over here, then I'll come back to you. Please, yes, from Heineken.
Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Eugene Ubalejero.
Yeah. So Eugene, let me interrupt you just because I know a little bit about you, right? Yes. You've been through an extraordinary adventure of getting Heineken to invest and plant in Haiti, right? Where you had to convince many people who had alternatives of what to do with their money to make that happen.
That's correct.
Right. So what are the lessons learned about what it's going to take to invest more in Haiti from your experience?
Okay, I'll try to answer that.
Thank you.
I'd like to say that I'm from Rwanda, and being from that country basically gives me a special bond with the Haitian people. And Denis, we are a European corporation, which is not afraid to invest in Haiti. I'd like to make a slight correction. One of our projects is to use sorghum in the local production of beer. We're going to raise, the use of this raw material from 0% to 20%, and we're going to guarantee a market for about 18,000 farmers. Now we know this can be done because we're already doing this in 8 African countries. We've been doing this for the last 25 years, and I'm sure it's going to work in Haiti. I think, one advice, having lived in Rwanda during the genocide and having contributed to the rebuilding of the brewery, I think the government has to believe that it can make it happen. What we're seeing today, what we've seen in the last few months, should be sustained. And yes, the path is going to be difficult. There will be some hurdles, but keep moving on. Just keep believing. When we did this project to invest in Haiti, we just didn't look at the numbers. We also had beliefs in the future of Haiti, in the renaissance of Haiti. Thank you.
Come over here.
Pierre Ferrari with Heifer International, and David, I want to thank you for the work that you've done at LG. And Valentin, bonjour, ça va? And we've been there, and what Heifer is doing in this project is that we're mobilizing the farmers, the fish farmers that are actually taking the fingerlings and growing them. The problem is, and the way we're blunting, and we've got the money to mobilize hundreds of farmers to produce the 5 million pounds. Haiti today imports about 12,500 tons of fish, frozen fish from Asia. Why? We could be Haitian. I say we. When you get there, you just become we. We could substitute for those imports very rapidly. We need investors for the cold chain. The problem is the cold chain. We need facilities to gut the fish, chill it down, and ship it to the markets. And the return on investment for that particular value chain, and we should be talking more about sectors and value chain, is very high. We'll provide the philanthropic dollars. We can train and install the farmers very rapidly. We can do this and have millions of pounds of fish produced within a year. He produces the hatching, the fingerlings.
So what do you need? What's in the way?
We need about $2 to $3 million in investment for the trucks and the chilling systems right now.
Stay there at the end of the session. Yeah, come in here. Let's get your mic.
Thank you. My name is Liz Blake. I'm from Habitat for Humanity International. And I'm here because Denis O'Brien and the members of CGI believed in trying to work together to remove a huge barrier that is a barrier in the developing world and a barrier in Haiti. And people said, oh, you'll never, ever, ever make any progress. And the truth of the matter is we have. I have in my hand the property law manual that shows how to buy and sell land in Haiti. It's color-coded. It's translated into English and French. The training materials are also in Creole. And the reason the manual was put together is because people say, I can't donate to Haiti because I can't get clarity about the ownership of the land. I can't invest in Haiti because my plant won't have clear ownership of the land. And this tells you exactly how to do it. I'm standing here representing 100 people who put their time and energy, mostly as volunteers, over 12 months to put this together. It represents 6 agencies of the Haiti government, USAID, the World Bank, IDB, OAS, the rest of the alphabet soup, all sponsored by Digicel.
And what do you need to get to scale?
Well, what we need to do is have this become the way land is transferred until a new law is developed. So it needs to be adopted, it needs to be trained, it needs to be part of the vernacular, and it needs to be used by everybody who wants more donors and more investors and can't do that because of the land barriers. So Habitat's been proud to be part of the group, but we've had the blessing and the support of the Haiti government and the business community, and we want everybody to use this so that Habitat for Humanity can build more houses on land that's clearly owned.
Comment over here, yes.
30 seconds. We are investors in energy, and I see here my colleague Rolando, who is a bigger investor in energy. So the question is if CGI could call a special meeting on energy to try to get married these energy projects and energy investors.
That's good. Thank you. Behind you, there's a comment.
We'll take that. That's a very good idea. And at our next meeting in November, which we'll circulate to everybody, we will actually carve out 1 hour for that to happen. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
I think one of the main challenges that have been discussed here is how do we tackle short-term needs with long-term sort of strategic vision. And the way a success story that we have as Techo, we actually have a commitment here in this nice little booklet, is that we've done it through youth engagement. So we've actually mobilized over 2,000 Haitian local volunteers, and we've actually just chosen our first Haitian executive director for our local programs. And it's exactly through the youth that we're tackling the social needs of today, tomorrow, and yesterday, but with that long-term. And hopefully Prime Minister Olson Regis, who's our executive director, will join your troops soon.
Thank you. The comment in the back here, and then we'll come around. Yeah.
Mark Summer from Invenio. I want to build on my former speaker here. One thing I see is building local capacity is the key to all of this, and especially as an NGO, which we are, building local capacity which can be used in businesses to build locally sustainable, successful businesses. So the training we have provided in our programs was always with the goal to hand our programs to local entrepreneurs and local Haitians to be run and retreat from the work we are doing ultimately and scale them up that way. And the other part I wanted to make is look at what you can build on top of things you may have not thought of in the beginning. So while we have focused on getting connectivity and computers into school labs across Haiti, we were challenged by a funder to see how we can expand from that to bring skills into the communities around the schools, and have now created a sustainable program to train local community members in digital literacy skills to create the right kind of people for the entrepreneurs who are building businesses in Haiti and for the businesses with the right skill sets.
Thank you. So I'm going to turn it back to Denis. And I think with the challenge that we have in front of us of how do we learn quickly enough, how do we incorporate these lessons so we can partner differently to make these decisions, right? How do we open our eyes, in your example, to some of the resources and opportunities and dream bigger than we did before? And then the question, obviously, is how can the Action Network be the vehicle for that? So maybe if you want to help bring us back.
Sure. I think what is interesting here is the whole question of partnerships between, people within Haiti, entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs outside, particularly here in the United States, is how entrepreneurs in America can actually adopt and work with businesses in Haiti to really fulfill them. And fish is one thing, and I think the target of 20 million is the target to go for and the ambition. But quite rightly, the gentleman there, that is predicated upon an investment in technology, in freezing technology and transport. So that's 2 million there. I think in the whole agricultural area, there are so many different projects that we need to get moving on in there, because they're going to employ thousands of people, just the way all these fish farmers have become incomes now of $2,000 a year. So, if there are people at the end of this meeting, if they could come up to the front there, and we'll do a mix and match as such, where the president's going to be here shortly, and we've time maybe for one more or two more contributions.
Sure. How about, yes, in the center here.
I'd just like to offer a suggestion, very, very humbly. I think that a recurring theme that we hear is the scalability and the scalability. Mm-hmm. And in most of these things, scalability really means a capital need. And there's, a humongous capital need. And there's no way that all the money that is needed is going to be raised in time and so on and so forth. So would you consider taking your 20 or 15 or 30 top projects that are truly commercial, if you had that equity protection, the kicker that makes it possible for the private sector to join, so you separate part of the money you've raised, mm-hmm. and you create a guarantee that is going to be allocated to a portfolio of projects. Not all projects are going to go wrong, not all at the same time, not all the same way, not all in the same amount of poor performance or lack of performance. And as soon as you have, 6, 7, 8 of these that are truly fully commercial with some form of, it's like creating your own OPIC guarantee. It would be like your Action Network guarantee. Yep. And once you have 5 or 6 or 7 of those, you have a track record. You can attract real capital that will be legitimately attracted on competitive basis.
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea, and it's a kind of an add-on, is where, it's speed dating for money. Where basically you've got Haitian entrepreneurs with a huge amount of ability, and they have no capital to develop their businesses. And there's a community that are attached to the CGI that are interested in putting money to work, small amounts and bigger amounts of work. And maybe we should actually have a session on that. And it's a great idea, and thank you very much for that contribution. And I'll be working with Valentine and Duquesne and David and other people to maybe put this together, to get funding into how do we raise this $2 million? How do we put money into Duquesne's project? Because it's venture capital. That's what we need. So thank you very much.
Denis, what are we learning about the prioritization, right? I mean, Cheryl, you also talked about prioritization of all you can do. How do we figure out the logic to make different decisions about where our best advantage is from our organization? How are we thinking about that? How's the logic changing that prioritization question?
Well, I think it's a mixture of business and development projects, and that is a powerful combination. You know, you've got business people in suits and people who are running very powerful NGOs, like Habitat for Humanity or whatever, who are coming together, and it's the best of both worlds. It's the best of the non-profit and the best of for-profit, and that is going to change things. But I think everybody needs to be careful here. We're all enthusiastic, but it's all the boats rising together, and they're Haitian boats, and that's the most important thing. Paul, yeah. Paul Farmer is coming.
Yes, I'm trying to get him. It's coming behind the camera.
Thank you very much. I just want to make that link. I don't know how to use the business jargon very well, and I won't use medical jargon, I promise. But in between business and development, there have been a series of sort of pro-social efforts, which you've heard mentioned here. And I know Partners in Health has invested heavily. I mean, I'm sorry that we exploited poor David Crane's labor. But and you heard mention Val's stunning work on fish farming. We've worked on ready-to-use therapeutic food to treat malnutrition that relies on locally grown grains, peanuts, and labor. And then power. You know, this hospital. By the way, this is a chance for me to say, as we're waiting for President Clinton, thank you, because all of you have invested in that massive medical center hospital project in Central Haiti. It's actually finished. It's done, and it's the largest. Yeah. It is the largest solar-powered hospital in the developing world. Now, we don't know how to manage that. We don't have the management chops for a lot of these projects, but they could be turned into successful businesses, I'm sure. So it's also be great to make connections between those of us who are not in and Sasha gave a wonderful presentation, those of us who are not in the business of making profits, but are certainly not hostile. On the contrary, want to see Haitian businesses grow, who want to see the vision that was laid out by the Prime Minister and others flourish. So I just hope people will be understand there's this other link that we can make between pro-social development projects and business.
But you're being modest, because your hospital is the best example of you and PIH working with the Haitian Ministry for Health. Yes. Not going around them, is actually working through them and building capacity and creating a major teaching hospital.
Well,
so
thank you, Dennis. I'd just like to say it has been a pleasure to work with the Ministry of Health.
Thank you. Now, thank you very much. We are going to move on, because the person who's responsible for getting us all together is here, and it's, of course, I want to warmly welcome President Clinton for joining us and to ice the cake as such, because it has been a very interactive session. I'd like to thank Alex and Stephanie and for all the contributions from the floor. Some of the ideas are really fantastic, and it's great to have the President here. He is the man who pushed us all into the room and then locked the door and told us to sort out some of these challenges in Haiti. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you President Clinton. Thank you very much. How are you doing? Great to see you. Good to see you.
Sit down, everybody. First of all, thank you. I was back there listening to Paul, which I find always fruitful. I want to first thank Prime Minister Lamothe, who had to leave, for being here and for his support, and the parliamentarians from Haiti. I want to thank them for being here and for their continued interest in rebuilding their country. I want to thank Cheryl Mills, who's been the heart and soul of the State Department's work on Haiti for so many years now, and without whom so much of this progress would not have been made. This marks the 4th year anniversary of the Haiti Action Network and the 3rd year under Denis O'Brien's leadership. That was the best move we ever made, because it becomes difficult to say no to him, especially when he's spending more money than he asked you to spend. And I can't thank him enough for the symbolic and substantive importance of the iron market to all the other things that have been done. I want to thank so many people. I'm very grateful for everything that Paul Farmer's done in helping to develop this action network. I want to thank Denis for the 21 meetings he chaired, mostly in Port-au-Prince. And I want to thank Ann Hastings, David Crane, Sasha Kramer, Duquesne Fednard for speaking with the group about the commitments you've made. I want to thank Donna Karen and the people who've worked to revive the arts and crafts section. It may be the only sector of the economy that's actually already ahead of where they were before the earthquake. But it is just the beginning. I want to thank all the people who've helped us to try to bring back manufacturing, all the people who have helped us to try to build a truly robust tourism sector. And as Denis said, I want to help the people who have trusted the Haitian government and work with them and tried to build their capacity. In the end, all of our goals should be either to be in Haiti as investors making money because they're doing well, or to go there as tourists. The Haitian people are fully capable of supporting themselves, organizing their affairs, attracting their own investment, doing their own work. We just have to build the capacity to do that, and I'm very, very grateful. This network has a lot of diversity. NGOs, corporations, multilaterals, all supporting Haiti's effort. You probably know this, but I think it's worth mentioning. There have been 80 commitments over the last 4 years to focus on Haiti, and it's worth seeing where we are since we're all in this for the long run. Most of the money committed has been delivered, and I'm very grateful for that. We still have some that has not. I also wanted to say just a word about, thank you, David, for not only the work you've done for solar power in a big way, but all those schools that have been given solar power. And we're going to have another announcement tomorrow on housing. And let me remind you, when we did the Housing Expo in Haiti, and the government and the standards picked 60 companies from all around the world, including Haiti, who had produced housing designs that were A, affordable, B, all had solar power so the kids could study at night and the parents could work at night, and C, were all cholera proof in the sense they wouldn't be, the sanitation was good and they wouldn't be contributing to it. There are now different designs, and we're going to have more to say about that tomorrow with the new commitment we had. But on the solar power issue, I just want to point out one of the things I think will come out of this whole effort is that Haiti, which has long been known as the country with the lowest income in the Caribbean, I think is about to become a symbol of the future of the Caribbean. The region has the highest electric rates in the world. Haiti has the highest electric rates in the region, about 36 cents a kilowatt hour. There are some islands in the multi-island nations like St. Kitts and Nevis where are the Turks and Caicos, where a particular island may have higher rates, but the country's rates are the highest. We have just, we announced yesterday a partnership with the government of Norway where they asked our foundation, partly based on the work that had been done in Haiti, to try to have a strategy that embraces the most vulnerable islands in the world and some other smaller, vulnerable coastal countries to get rid of diesel, get rid of heavy fuel oil, make them totally energy self-sufficient with solar, wind, geothermal, and biomass. And I think we can do that. But we need Haiti to lead the way, and that's going to be possible in no small measure because of the partnerships we've had. So in sum, I think the decision, I don't know if you've talked about this before, but I think the decision of the Action Network to start meeting once a quarter is a good decision because we all know what we're supposed to do and we got plenty to do. And we don't need to meet ourselves to death. I think that the commitments that have not been fully funded, those of us who have the resources should look at fully funding them because the Funcosi commitment, for example, is a really good and noble thing. And The people who run Foncosi can't come up with that money out of thin air. We should help them. Thirdly, I think we should continue to work on building the capacity of the Haitian government to do all this work, and Denis spoke about that. But just think what it could mean if Haiti and then the whole island of Hispaniola were energy self-sufficient. If you didn't have to worry about spending $1 billion a year importing something that is taking $1 billion away from what could be spent in education or in incentives to people to come to invest there or in training workers for the jobs that you want in the future. And so I'm looking forward to the next year. I think we're off to a good start. I have confidence in this government. They meet the first test for me. Not that I agree with every decision they make, but that they make decisions. At some point, a 60% decision today is way better than a 100% decision 6 months from now. We all need a bias for movement. The people of Haiti had waited a long time, too long, more than 200 years now, for the chance to let their talents and their hard work flourish. And I think it's just worth saying, as I always say when I talk to my friends in Europe about the problems they have, in no country in the world is there a problem because the people don't want to work. You can talk to anybody who has ever employed any Haitian to do anything, and they will tell you they work like crazy. And as I told somebody the other day when I was in Greece, and they said, "What in the hell are you doing there?" And I said, because the average Greek works 25% more hours a week than the average German. They're poorly organized and not well governed over generations of patterns that cannot be sustained. But it's not because there's anything wrong with the people. And there's certainly nothing wrong with the people of Haiti. They've proved that repeatedly in these tough years since the earthquake, and I feel great. It was great going down to Champ de Mars and seeing that the tent city gone, seeing the Capitol coming down and the presidential palace coming down, and a whole new future being built, both symbolically and factually. He's not here today, but I want to thank Sean Penn for his relentless efforts. Or is he here? I hate to brag on him in person. Stand if he's sitting in the back so I can't see him. Thank God you still got that mustache. Even with my bad eyes, I can see that. So, Maria, thank you. Petra, thank you. Thank you, all the people who have devoted themselves to Haiti. We need to keep this network going. That's the last thing I'll say. Just because we're going to meet quarterly, there needs to be a core of people who can spread the message and also make sure something gets done every single month that we can all be proud of. So that's it. We're in good shape. We've got a ways to go. We need to honor the commitments that have been made. We have 5 new ones coming out of the CGI, which we can be proud of. But I feel better about the long-term prospects of Haiti than I have in a long time. And if we can all just keep working together, we will soon, the rest of us, work ourselves out of a job. Thank you very much.